we'll talk about the business model innovation. So for those companies interested in IoT development, so a useful hands-on approach to develop business models is through the lenses of business model innovation. You may not be familiar with business model. My understanding, it is how a company makes money. For example, long ago, so for the Microsoft, they will sell the Microsoft Office. So you should have heard of, you should have been using this software very often. So many years ago, their business model is to sell the software product. You will go to the store and buy the CD for the Microsoft Office and then install on your computer. And that's how it is done. But nowadays, you do something like the subscription business model. Basically, okay, the product. Instead, they give the product to you for free as long as you pay some small amount of subscription fee every month, maybe $10. So this is also applicable to many other services. So for example, if you watch the Netflix, and also watch on, so previously they will sell, for example, $9 for this movie, $10 for that movie. But nowadays they will use some subscription model for them. As long as you pay me for $9 per month, then you can watch. They declare maybe 1,000, 2,000 movies, something like that. Basically, they have another new type of based on subscription compared to the previous product model. So that's how business model. To be successful under the IoT, it is most effectively done through assessing business case from the perspective of transactions to achieve this innovation. So basically, by looking at the transactions, we need to find out the following aspects: how changes happen in industry, and how these changes are controlled. So basically, whenever there is something is changed, that means because when it changes the value and how it is controlled, basically we need to look at the actors or players involved in the transactions. We can try to find out ways to innovate the transaction, and that's the business model. There are three main ways to approach transaction in business model innovation. So we can look at the content, refer to what sort of activities are being performed. It means what is being exchanged. We also can look at the structure, refer to how activities are linked, and exchange mechanism used. And also we can basically who performs what activity and to issue of control. So for the structure here, nowadays you may have known about this example. So previously, when customers want to sell their product, apples, oranges to you, they will sell these items, these fruits, to maybe the grocery store, grocery company products to you in the supermarket. So the customer, right? So nowadays you may have heard of the C model, right? Basically, so if you go to the farmers market during the weekend, so you will notice that many farmers are selling the product directly to the customer during the weekend in the market. So usually, if you went there before, you will know that you can get products less expensively. That's how the structure are analyzed and be changed. Just as an example, the technical development enable emerging in IoT to fundamentally change the ways they do business. Basically, they need to rethink of transactions within the activities system, and also they have more options now due to the technology. Okay, currently, for the current examples, multiple IoT applications have been deemed to be promising candidates and trials of. So we mentioned, so this includes environmental, security, utility, and other smart cities applications, street lighting, parking, waste management. For street lighting, they have known that, so for some especially remote areas, the street lights will be turned on and off on the street. So if it is a big city, basically it needs to be on all the time almost, right? But if in remote areas, the street lighting will be kind of, and also other industries, these examples. So for this kind of trials and proof of concept, one challenge is that to keep the long-term viability movement of all stakeholders outside of the pilot or prototype stage. Basically, when they try to build a kind of a role model pilot project, so every stakeholder will be excited. They will try to get involved. But if we cannot make sure that they during this process, during this project, for example, if they in the long term they cannot get benefits or profits in the pilot project or the proof of concept project will not benefit all the stakeholders. Okay, based on the analysis, so here are some typical main use cases that IoT can help enable is business-to-business models, where companies are able to share data between one another more easily and in an automated manner. So this means IoT solutions are quite a few type of pricing model, because now if you share data, how do you price? So for the business model, some of you may have learned about the business models in business. So we look into the potential key partners, key activities, key resources, value propositions, customer relationship channels, customer segments, those kind of. So for the business so the focus here is to share. So you can look at this figure in more detail of the class. And another business model is the data analytics service. So it is very desirable because now we have many data. But data, they're just like raw material, right? If that's it, you cannot find out the useful information, knowledge, and inside the data, then it will not help you to provide good decision abilities. So nowadays, systems can collect as 10 gigabyte data every day. So for those large amount of data, so it is necessary to have some analytics service, the insights into the data, basically what we can find in the data. So actually that promotes the data analytics business models. They will try to fully leverage the potential of IoT data. Basically, with more data, they hope to find out more information, knowledge from the data, and help to improve decision making. So here are the data analytics business model, just a simply like one. And also you can compare these two and the data analytics model to see how they are different. Basically, the main from the industrial the activities, value propagation, something like that. And also we have the marketplace models, very similar. One thing I would like to highlight here is the security integration model. So one of the most important new business model will be the increasing requirement security integration from an end perspective. For security, because we know that IoT is filled with data. Whenever data, for example, we want to make sure that the data are not altered by other people intentionally. We don't want the data to be stolen by other people. We want the intellectual properties to be protected. So this will include ensuring the security and integrity of the data produced, transmitted within such an IoT solution. Yeah, I forgot to mention. So we also want to make sure that when the data is being exchanged, for example, I send the other company, we want to make the transmission, the data are damaged, are not attacked, are not modified, something like that. So this slide highlights the important data. So you can reduce the class. And also, this is the security integration business model. It will fun for you to try to compare the different items in this model with the previous models. So you will find some tiny